Hello beautiful people, you're welcome to today's tutorial. I'm going to be showing you how to make this turban cap with ruffles. Okay, my name is Delakwa and I'm the creative director of Dolly Crafts. I have my raw silk fabric and I'm making use of 1 yard. I've made my turban base from it, so I have this left to make the ruffles. You can decide to use any fabric of choice. You can make the base of your cap with any stretchy fabric. This fabric I'm using is stretchy, is raw silk. You can use scuba, you can make your ruffles with satin. You understand? If you're using the scuba base, you can make your ruffles with satin, with organza, or any beautiful fabric of choice. But in my own case, I'm using this raw silk fabric. So I have my fishing line. The width of my fishing line is 0.70 mm. You can buy the one that is thicker than this if you like. This is the strong fishing line. I have my scissors and I have my needle and thread, and of course we'll be needing the sewing machine. Just other things may be required, like hooks, stones, whatever you want to embellish your turban with, and UHE glue. These are actually optional. From 1 yard of fabric, I have made my turban cap. This is the front gather turban cap with the V band. Okay, you need to watch my video on how to make this turban cap if you don't have a knowledge of that. I'll put the link in the description box. So now let me explain what I did to get this my pieces. So from my 1 yard of fabric, like I mentioned earlier, I made my cap, and for my ruffles, this is what I have left. I cut out my piece of fabric that's with the measurements 5 inches before I weave the edges. So before weaving the edges, I measured 5 inches width by 60 inches this way. I didn't have up to 60 inches left after I made my turban cap. So what I did was I joined the fabric. I did 30 and 30 and added little allowance to it for the joining. Can you see? So if you have a full length of fabric, just go ahead and cut 60 inches by 5 inches. It could be 4 inches if you want it smaller. It could be 4.5, and it could be up to 5.5. That's the width, and this length could be lesser if you don't want your ruffles to be full. So I have this cut out in 2 places. Can you see? In 2 places. Okay, so for the edges, this is what I did. I took it to a weaving machine where they weave the edges of fabrics or clothes. Okay, so what you will do is just take a fishing line along with you. This is 0.70. It could be thicker than this if you want it thicker. And what they did was, let me just use this piece of fabric as an example. They will just weave it with it, place it like this and weave like that. Okay, that was what I did on all the 4 edges. Okay, so after weaving, you will notice the width may reduce a little. So I have that in 2 places, and this is what we're going to be doing. I'm going to be using my needle and thread, sew loose stitches from this end to the other end, but on the center of the fabric, like this. I just sew loose stitches like this. Small pleats, can you see? So I just do that till I get to the end. I'm going to repeat the same procedure on the second fabric. Alright friends, as you can see, I've sewn loose stitches from one end of the piece of fabric like this on the center. I've sewn like that down, so, and I drag, pull to form gathers. Okay, I did the same on the second piece. Before I go ahead, I'm just going to keep this aside and continue with the next step. The next step is to cut out a piece of fabric 16 inches by 5.5 inches. I'm going to be folding it. This is the wrong side. I'm going to fold this in 2 times. I'm going to sew the edges, sew it here, fold this into 2 this way, twice and sew. I repeat the same on this side, twice and sew. I folded in the edges, I've sewn it. Can you see? I'm going to start sewing on this my piece of fabric this way. So I'll take it to my sewing machine now. Can you see the thread I had earlier? I pulled the gather. So I'm going to release it for it to cover this my piece of fabric. I'm going to release it, okay? So while sewing, I'll take it to my sewing machine now. I'll place this on it like this and sew. While sewing, you can be moving it or pull your gathers. Just make sure that it's enough to cover this piece of fabric. You understand? Okay, just pull as you sew. Just hold it down the middle part like this on your sewing machine and stitch like that. Open the middle part like this and stitch like that while you pull your gathers like that. Okay, so for the second one, you can either do it this way. After you sew the first one, you can place it on it again. You can place it on it and do the same and run it again. You understand? That's option one. Another option is after you're done sewing, you place the second one right here, okay, and repeat the same thing and sew just to cover this piece. I've sewn the first ruffle to it. Can you see? Say it like that. So this is where I ended it, and just for us to secure it properly, remember this is the thread we use in gathering it, so I'm just going to tack it like that to secure it properly. You can see I've attached the second ruffle on it. I did it on top of each other. This is the first one, this is the second one on top of each other, like I explained the other time. So from where you want to place it, can you see? You can just tack it down like that neatly. Okay, I'll just tack this neatly, tack it here, tack it here, tack it here like that. I just make sure I tack it very well and secure it. Can you see? It's getting to the back, okay? Bring it towards the front a little, then you tack. After tacking, you can decide to put an applique on this side, or you embellish with stones, feathers, pattern, or any kind of accessory. See, I've tacked it down to my cap. Can you see? This is it. So for the piece that we used as the base of the ruffle, can you see? I want to show you something. If you find it coming out like it's being visible, just fold it in and tack it down so it doesn't show you. So this is just it. This is how to make this beautiful design. Thank you very much. Bye.